Hello and welcome to Pickleball Therapy, the podcast dedicated to your pickleball improvement. This is a bonus episode we're putting out midweek. Jill and I are headed up to our tournament up at Hilton Head, the APP tournament, playing at the Senior Pro event on this Saturday. And we're on our way up there, and I wanted to share a podcast with you to answer some questions that we've been getting about how to improve as a pickleball player, what's the best ways to do so. And what I wanted to address in this podcast as a bonus episode for you is talk a little bit about how do you pick your training partner to improve as a pickleball player. Stay tuned for the podcast.
If you want to have the most fun you've ever had on the pickleball court while at the same time learning the skills and strategies that you need to play your best pickleball, check out our WeArePickleball camps. If you want to be notified of upcoming camps and also just want to stay in touch and know what's going on with WeArePickleball, make sure you subscribe to our mailing list at WeArePickleball.com. Just go in there, give us your email address, and we in turn will tell you when our next camps are coming up. This much fun should be illegal.
As you probably already know by now, me and my partner CJ Johnson from Better Pickleball have worked on a project for the last year or so called WeArePickleball. And we've been working on that to try and help pickleball players improve, improve on their paths as much as they want to. And what the question I get asked a lot, or we get asked a lot, is basically, what are good ways for me to improve as a pickleball player? Should I take a lesson? Should I go to a camp? How about a clinic? Self-study and things like that. So I just wanted to kind of go over the main areas or main opportunities that you have normally in your world to improve as a pickleball player and talk about some of the pros and cons of each of them. So the first one is the easiest one, if you will, in the sense of it being accessible, is self-study. So you can buy one of the books that are available out there about pickleball. You can also study videos. You can do an online course such as the one at WeArePickleball. Those are effective ways to improve as a player. Those require, though, that some effort by the player, right? So some extra effort, I should say. Kind of keeping a schedule, making sure that if you're drilling, if you're going to drill, that you're drilling twice a week, as an example. And that you're spending time studying and paying attention to the materials that you're trying to review, because it's easy to get distracted. But that's a really good technique. Self-study is a really good, and frankly, no matter which of the other options that you choose, if any, to add to your improvement schedule, your improvement work, self-study and self-work is going to be part of that anyway, right? Because unless you plan on spending, 2 drilling sessions or 3 drilling sessions a week with a coach and things like that, that can get pretty expensive. You're probably going to be doing some stuff on your own. So, self-study and self-work is something that you can definitely do. If you're going to do that, remember that you have, there's resources available to you that a lot of players don't think about enough. An example is the wall, just a plain old wall at a rec center near you or at a facility near you, or if you have a wall in your garage. That's a really good way to get some reps in and get some work in. You can also do ghosting, is what we call it. So basically where you just do it on your own. You can do that. You can also do in the mirror. The mirror is really effective. And so don't think that you need to be drilling, 2 hours a week with a partner and a group, even though that's a lot of fun. And that's something that if you can do it, I highly recommend. There's all sorts of drills that you can do on your own in order to improve. In terms of studying the game or understanding the game better, and briefly, the drills are going to help you with what we call the mechanical pillar. So that's the first pillar in pickleball. That's going to help you know how to hit the ball or get more comfortable with hitting the ball and get better mechanically in the game. The second pillar that we focus on at WeArePickleball is called the strategic pillar, and that's basically why you hit certain shot at a certain time, right? So like it's deciding what shot makes sense in a given situation. And that sort of understanding of the game comes through study. That sort of understanding of the game comes through, watching matches and understanding how players are moving and where they're moving and what they're doing and what shots that they're hitting under certain situations. An example that we talked about in last week's podcast was the high to low, right? So if you want to go to the last week's podcast, I believe it's episode 57, you can listen to the podcast about the high to low versus low to high attack, and understanding the difference between the two can make a big difference in your game that's part of the strategic pillar. So that's where studying the game and really, breaking the game down and understanding what players are doing in different situations can help you see the game better. That way, when you're on the court, you can see it while you're playing in real time and make adjustments and decide what shot to hit based on what's going on your court. And the third pillar that we work on at WeArePickleball is the athletic pillar. That's basically taking care of your body and your mind and getting them into the best position possible to give you the most support that they can when you're out on the pickleball court, and certainly not to interfere with you. That particularly happens with the mental part of the game, where the mind basically doesn't betray us so much as just hinders us from doing what we want to do. So if you're doing to do self-study, you really want to make sure you're hitting all those aspects of the game, not just the drilling for the mechanical, but also the game study for the strategic pillar. It's also important that you spend some time on the athletic pillar. Got to take care of the mind and of the body. We want to go out there and we want to hit third shots at a 90% ratio. That's great, but if your body doesn't allow you to do that because your legs are tired or because you don't have good enough balance to get to the ball and stabilize your body, then that's going to cause you not to perform at the level that you want to perform at. So the athletic pillar is also really important if you're going to do self-study. All right, so let's dive into some of the other tools that might be available to you to improve as a pickleball player. First, we'll talk about private lessons. Private lessons are can be really good for the mechanical part of the game. Instructor can really work with you on issues that you may have with your stroke mechanics, with your footwork, and things like that. One-on-one is a pretty good way to teach that part of the game. If you're going to pick a private instructor, we recommend that you vet the instructor. There's several certification platforms out there. The one that I'm most familiar with is the IPTPA, which is the one that I'm certified with and I'm a master teaching professional with and a director. So that I can tell you that if you take a course from an IPTPA instructor, you're going to have somebody who has been given a solid foundation in terms of teaching methodology and also the parts of the game that are so important to learn in order to play optimal pickleball. So that's one good source. The PPR and the PCI and the IFP certifications may very well be perfectly fine. And frankly, if a instructor has those certifications, it shows me that they have gone to the next level. They've basically invested in their education and their certification. So those are other good certification bodies that you could, at least you know that they've gone through that process. And then the other thing you can do is you can ask other players in your area, vet the instructor and find out from other students that have worked with that instructor, what that was like, and just make sure that the instructor is going to be someone who can really help you with the game and really help you in accomplishing your objectives as a pickleball player. So while lessons are good for the mechanical part of the game, if you want to get to the strategic part of the game, sometimes it's helpful to have a group setting, so like a clinic where you have multiple players so that you can actually play in real-time games with a coach watching while you're playing to make sure that you're moving in an optimal way, and if not, the coach can point that out, explain to you what your objectives are on the serve side and return side. That's a really important distinction in this game. And so those types of things, a clinic is really well suited for that. The last option, and probably the most immersive one, is a camp experience. Camps are a way to basically, sort of like a boot camp, right? You just basically go out there and it's like doing a bunch of clinics, one after the other. And so, camps can be very good. We at WeArePickleball, we offer 2 and 3 day immersive camps, and we basically cover all of the 3 pillars that I mentioned earlier. So we cover the mechanical pillar, we cover the strategic pillar, and we cover the athletic pillar at the camp. Because the idea is that when you leave WeArePickleball camp, we want to make sure that you have a better understanding of the game. We want to empower you. We want to give you the tools that you need to play a better pickleball game, but also to continue on your path to improvement. Even if no matter how long the camp is, the camp's going to end, right? So there's going to be an ending to the camp, and so if you leave the camp with the tools that will help you continue to improve from that day forward, you're going to be you just be a better player when you leave, but also you'd be able to continue your process to continue improving along the path to get to whatever your objective is as a pickleball player. And so that's why, we think that if you're going to go to a camp, just make sure that you're going to a camp that offers you, a well-rounded approach to the game. not just some ball feeding and something like that. You want to make sure that you're going to a camp that offers you, that's going to basically make you as well-rounded a player as possible when you leave that camp, again, so that you can continue on your path. Just as with a private instructor in your local area, we recommend that you vet the instructors that are going to be at your camp. And remember that if you're going to be at a larger camp, there's going to be multiple instructors, so you might want to find out who all the instructors are going to be at the camp, just to make sure that you know that the instructors that are going to be at the camp are going to be able to provide you the type of service or the type of experience that you're looking for when you go to a pickleball camp. If you're looking for a camp, we invite you to visit us at WeArePickleball.com and check out our camp schedule. You know that your instructors will be myself and CJ Johnson. You know that it'll be an immersive camp covering all three pillars of pickleball: the strategic, the mechanical, and the athletic. And you know that you're going to leave the camp with a better understanding of the game than you had when you first arrived at camp. We are so confident that you will leave our camps as a better and more empowered pickleball player that we offer a no questions asked, money back guarantee. If you're serious about improving as a pickleball player, consider the blend of these four that can help you the most. So self-study, right? Work some on your own game, drilling and also studying the game. Consider perhaps a private instructor in your area to help you with some of the mechanical parts of the game. You have clinics to help you with in a group setting to help you with the strategy and how you see the game. And if you really want to turbocharge things, you can consider a camp to get a really complete immersive experience into pickleball and your improvement. All right, so that's the bonus episode of Pickleball Therapy this week. Hopefully that helps answer some questions about improvement and how to improve and how to use the different tools that are available out there to improve your games. If you have any ideas about ways that players can improve that I forgot to mention or perhaps didn't explain well enough, please let us know in the comments down below to the show. You can always email us as well at tony@wearepickleball.com. If you enjoyed the podcast, remember to share with your friends. Have a nice week, and we'll see you next time.